Protein is a natural satiator of hunger.
People try to lend a hand, but they can't help. You gotta pick and choose. We are wearing different shoes. Be a bigger you. Go and get it.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Ready to go?
Episode's over.
Okay. All right, welcome back to another episode of RxFit Tips. I'm your host, three-time All-American, Bennie Oliver, and this is the founder of RxFit, Danny Trejo. Here at RxFit, we take problematic and potentially controversial topics, and we make them systemized and applicable to your life.
My life, his life, your life.
Yeah.
We take the guesswork out.
We do take the guesswork out. And so, Danny, we are right in the middle of a series, actually. Mm-hmm. This is the second episode.
My name is Danny Trejo, by the way. I'm owner of RxFit, in case you didn't know.
Bro, I already introduced you. What are you talking about? So we're doing a series called the Max Amounts, which is M-A-C-S, not M-A-X. Max Amounts. The max is referring to macronutrients, and amounts referring to how many of them. Yeah. So this series, by the end of this series, you're going to know more about macronutrients and the roles that they play in your weight loss goals or in your weight loss. And then for the first episode, we covered carbohydrates.
So if you haven't seen that, go check it out with us.
Go check it out.
Yep.
And in this episode, part 2 of the series, we're going to be covering proteins. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know what proteins are and how they're applicable in your life and how they relate to your weight loss goals or whatever you're trying to do with weight loss.
Yeah, well, proteins, strength goals, immune system goals, if you have those, they do everything, right? I guess you'll find that out in a second.
Yeah, I guess you'll find out in a second. So, first question, Danny, what is a protein?
Proteins, all right, everyone's favorite. God, man, don't proteins just get beat up all the time? There's like protein everything, protein shakes, protein bars, protein cookies, protein chips, I saw the other day.
I have proteins and greens at home. Greens mixed with proteins. What is a protein?
So it's immersed in our society, protein everything.
Yeah.
Actually, I have to admit, I'm a little bit biased, so if I come off leaning away from protein a little bit, it's just because of how much I get annoyed about how my clients ask me, how much protein are you having? I've had protein cookies, are those good for me? I have 3 protein shakes a day, is that okay? And if people are so hyper-focused on protein, which is fine, which is totally fine, in a lot of different categories, I would say cautiously approach this subject if you're going for weight loss, right? Just going that in, it might not be the most important thing you're going to focus on. If you're into strength training, we'll get into that eventually, but obviously a little more important. So proteins, what is a protein?
What is protein?
Protein is, as you might have heard it in your basic biology class back in high school, it's a building block of life, right? The reason why they call it the building block of life is because it does everything in the body. We talk a lot about carbs, we talk a lot about fats in the previous episodes, and that's because we think about energy. We're always saying like energy this, energy that, energy this. If carbohydrates are like burning wood and fats are like burning oil or nuclear powers, as keto people like to call it, then proteins are everything you did in between that, like transporting the wood to where it needs to go to have the fire, or transporting the fat where it needs to go to have that, or building the truck to carry the things over, and then building the building that the fuel goes inside of. But that's why they call it building blocks of life. It does everything else.
Yeah,
like
everything.
The energy you get from the carbs and the fats and the proteins just like build this place that we're standing in right now, and this table, it's the structure. Right. It's the messages. It's all that. So we're gonna first break down in this first segment here is specific types. We're really going to focus on 1 of the 3, but the 3 are fibrous, which are, as you can imagine, fiber, like think of muscle strands. That one's the most obvious one, the most common one, is the one that almost everyone talks about. Mm-hmm. But for argument's sake, the next 2 are globular and membrane. Globular are more messenger proteins, they're enzymes, they're the little guys, the unspoken heroes. They have more the transfer information kind of guys. And the membranes are exactly what it sounds like. It's membranic. It's cell walls. It's the receptors. It's hormones. It's anything that it surrounds us like organs and connect to one another through membranes. Yeah. So those are the 3. To give a quick synopsis on to give a quick synopsis on membrane and globular is things that you don't really have to focus on too much. Your body's gonna make these types regardless of how much protein you have, because out of the 20 essential amino acids, by the way, an amino acid is a building block of a protein. So you generally don't consume amino acids in your food unless you're a bodybuilder and you take it as a supplement. Yeah. but you want to intake, or you do intake proteins, and that protein is broken down into amino acids. Your body's very good at doing that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give a quick synopsis on membrane and globular style proteins because we're not going to go too much in detail on those. Your body's going to make those regardless of how much protein you're intaking because we can make a certain amount of proteins internally. So the membrane proteins are what's the best way to say it? They're like docking bays. Membranes will they're like what are those things called? The trucks pull into and they unload stuff. The unloading docks.
Yeah,
that's like
the
membrane in the cell. Like that's usually what they're doing is they're connecting to the things. And what they're connecting to are the globular proteins. Globulars are receptors. They just like stick to that thing, and then when they unload, they connect. They go beep beep beep. Then that cell of whatever type they're hooked up to is telling it to do something. It's like, hey, make insulin. Hey, mitosis, spread and all that stuff. Quick side note, that's what cancer is. So if that unloading dock is broken, and when that globular protein or receptor connects to that membrane protein, and it tells it to do something, but it can't disconnect, and it just keeps replicating and making more cells and more cells and more cells, and it can't turn off.
Right. Then
that's what's cancer. That's what a tumor is when it gets bulgy. Like you get a tumor in your bone, a tumor in your skin, and it gets bulgy. It's because the cells just won't stop replicating, and it causes issues to the rest of the body, obviously. And then now it's spreading. It's doing mitosis, and those new cells it's making also can't turn off because it got the DNA from its previous, right? So it took in the same code, and then you have all these issues, obviously, and that can spread to other parts of your body because now it's telling other cells to keep replicating and not stop replicating. So you can see the problem lies. But anyway, so just to give you a nice visual, that is happening there. Globular is the thing connecting to it, and the membrane is the thing it's connecting to, right? It's loading down. So that's that for those three. We're gonna get into next segment of why do we need?
Why do we need protein? Why do we need protein? Okay, so we've just gone over what protein is. Now,
Yep.
Why? Why do we need it?
We don't need it. I'm just joking. Don't do that.
Why do I need it?
It can be really bad for you. You definitely eat protein. It's a very important part of your diet.
Yeah, you need your body. I think we all agree that we need our body to function in this society.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about globular or membrane-based proteins.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about fibrous because that's the ones that we can actually make a difference on because they're made of amino acids, right? They're all made of amino acids. We can make 20 in our body, or we need 20. 11 of them we already make inside of us. They're there working away, like little dwarves, mining mithril or whatever, making swords. Like, yeah, I'll do this for myself.
Hi-ho.
That was good. We don't have these 9 essential amino acids that we can't make, and that's what the ones you're going to want to focus on to consume.
Yeah.
So the 9 that, and listen closely, I'm going to read it off here, off this little paper I have here. By paper I mean computer. Is these amino acids that you want to consume. Everything else that you hear about, you don't need to consume it. Your body already makes it. If your body needs it, it will make it. All right. So you're just wasting your time, wasting your money. The 9 essential amino acids are histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, 309, tryptophan, and valine. I think it's valine. So why that matters, and hopefully if I edited this properly, the words will be over Benny's face as I'm saying them.
Put lysine right here. We'll have a lysine mustache.
I'm gonna figure out a way to make that now. So those are the ones you want to focus on. In fact, a few of those you've probably seen. They're called branched chain amino acids. Everyone talks about them in the strength training world, in the lifting world.
BCAAs.
Yeah, BCAAs exactly in the big containers. And that's isoleucine, leucine, and lysine. Those are really big on making muscles, essentially, right? The why we need them. One, these 9 essential amino acids, we don't make them, so we need them. We actually do need to have them in our body in order for our body to function properly. For our muscles to be made, for our tendons to be made, for our bones to be made, for basically any, like I mentioned earlier, any structure that we need in the body has to be made using essential amino acids. And we can make a lot of these, well, of course the 11, but we don't have to consume amino acids. You can just eat protein, and that protein can be broken down into amino acids. So when I say you need amino acids, I really am saying you need different types of protein that have amino acids built into them, right? And by why we need them, there's a pretty important thing that proteins make, and that's DNA. And I don't know if you've heard about DNA. It's kind of an important deal. It's essentially our code that makes us who we are. And there's 4 amino acid building blocks, and I can't remember exactly the terms for each one, but it is they're codified as A, C, T, and G. And those replicate in different patterns in order to make the entire tens of thousands of layers of code that make our genetic code.
Yeah.
So that's why we need them. Now, those 9 essential amino acids, I would look up the different foods you want to consume in order to get those. But the point about this, the why section that we want to talk about today, is just don't worry about all the rest of them that people are talking about constantly. You don't really need those. Like I said, your body will make them under the right circumstances, but you do need these 9 that I just mentioned.
That are right here on my face.
Yeah, to build muscle. Now, for you weight loss fans out there, I assume you're out there somewhere.
Yeah.
If you're watching this channel, you definitely are.
Yep.
Protein is a natural satiator of hunger. So when people are like, oh God, like I just need carbs or pasta or chips, right? Because like you just have that craving for like the insulin spike.
Yeah.
It's really easy to just add protein into your diet and just just feel full. So if you want to add like an extra piece of chicken or fish or high protein vegetables, usually cruciferous vegetables. Popeye would usually take a can of spinach.
Yeah, the spinach. Yeah.
That's how I did, right? And then he like ripped out.
Yeah, and then he go up.
And then he punched that big dude in the face.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah.
Or Wimpy.
Who's Wimpy?
He was the fat dude that
little
was
short
always
one?
eating
Okay.
hamburgers and.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
You're showing your age.
I'm aging myself. Yeah. Which is kind of what it's really kind of what we do with our body sometimes when people are like trying to start a diet or something. It's like I'll gladly work out Tuesday, and eat right for a hamburger today.
Yeah.
Popeyes taught us so much.
Yeah, that's so right.
Yeah, and his girlfriend's name Olive Oil, bro. Come on.
That's where I learned all my nutrition from. I think.
I don't know what
I
I'm
only eat
getting
spinach and olive oil now. I wonder if it was the fitness guy who made that shit. Oh, yeah, we're gonna sidetrack.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it for this episode on proteins. What can our viewers do?
Thanks, guys, for first off, before we get into the end here, I really appreciate you guys joining our series here. Remember, this is all designed to be create a system and applicable program for your life. So if you guys have any questions and things that you want to go beyond, you get more advanced into your own programming, please visit our website, RxFit.co. We have more videos on there. We're gonna have more systemized progresses that I've created with my clients and that work very well for them. Or
if you're just watching and have also a few questions that you'd like to ask or like more information about, feel free to leave a question or comments or question in the comments or a comment in the comments. If you want to do that too.
Just throw a thumbs up.
Yeah. So.
All right, guys. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Let's dance our way out of this.
Now I'm building up, I don't think I'm coming down. Even stars start to shine
shit,
when they
sliding.
hit the ground. Lamborghini dreaming, meaning that no one can stop me. Started spitting sloppy, now they all
Definitely
coming to
the
watch
cat.
me.
Okay. It's a ghost. They have a ghost here. It's a ghost kitty.